Hello, 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 hello. 10:32:33. I suppose by our standards, that's relatively on time. We were just getting. Now the stream status says it's bad again. Can you? How does the stream look to you? We've been getting like the streams going up and down. Can you check the connection and stuff? Make sure that's not being. Happy Halloween, everybody. Sorry, our streaming seems to be up and down at the moment. It was set to Wi-Fi rather than hardwire, which is probably part of the issue. Hope you're all well. Hello, everybody. So hello, Brett. Hello, Phil. How does it look, by the way? Let us know how it looks. That'd be great. Stream looks fine, says Jurgen. Good. Getting 1080 looks good. All good. Smile, it looks fine. Looks and sounds fine here. To you, those headphones around your neck were giving you a monster truck announcer effect. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's super loud. Where's the is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2. Yeah, the delay's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, how is everybody? Did you check out the new videos? We've got a bunch of new stuff up here. Sorry if this is making noise. I'm going to bring it down and closer to me. We've got a bunch of new stuff up. What did everybody think of the QES? I was pretty impressed with that. Oh, and also we're getting a whole new system where we're going to be streaming using multiple cameras. We're going to use 2 cameras, and we're also going to use the Pro Tools screen as well. Like at the moment, if you go over here, you'll see the Pro Tools screen is up there. So we can talk now in the Academy. We'll be able to do Pro Tools stuff and stream as well. And depending on where we go, so if we can end up going to like Cameron Webbs, if he can get his internet fast enough, or Richard Furch and he can get his internet fast enough, both of which were super slow internets, we can do streaming stuff with them. So streaming mixes and everything. It's something we really want to do. One of the things I learned that I liked about what Joey Sturgis does is I think what we're doing community-wise is bigger and better in many, many ways. Don't get me wrong. Because I do like the ability to have a song broken down and shown exactly how it was done, in a very organized way and edited to be really factual. But at the same time, I do like the sort of free-form approach as well. So what I'm thinking we would do in some future stuff is do a bit of both. Is do some streaming stuff with a producer, an engineer, and a mixer, and also do course stuff as well. So I think it could be really, really good. The QES, yeah, it's pretty darn impressed. Also, because this is the Academy, I can be more forthright. Let me get my phone here. What I like about what we do in the Academy is we get to be like really super honest and share stuff with each other. So I got this email this morning. The guy who builds them, I think it's just one guy, is Val. And he goes, wow, what can I say? You touched my heart. I'm deeply grateful to you all. You did one heck of a job. It's not the way he put it. The review was very well articulated, catches the interest of the listener at every single frame. I saw it 3 times. Yes, I stayed there for 1.5 hours. And the best part, which was noticed by somebody, was Warren was the only one to actually freely speak about a very small company, letting a wider community of passionate guys get to know about it. That's pretty remarkable. So you are the community. And it is true. The reason why I started this was to connect people, because I felt, I didn't know if it's about feelings. It's about reality. That I grew up in like a little village in a tiny little house. My mum's here staying at the moment. The house was 600 and something square feet, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom and a lounge and a kitchen, a bungalow, semi-detached bungalow in Crookham. And I remember like Los Angeles seemed like this far off land. I mean, I know everybody here is all over the world. And, you know, LA's this far off land. New York was a far off land. Even London, to me, seemed a miles away, even though it wasn't. My grandparents lived in South London and stuff, and we'd go and visit them. But to go up into the city was like remarkable and amazing. And then I found, not so much in England, not so much in the UK, but definitely in America, that there was this massive kind of closed shop kind of way of doing things where creativity came second to, like, you know, the same producer doing every album, the same mixer mixing every album. You know, I first came over in the 90s, it was all just the same people. And a lot of those same people now have channels. This is us being honest. They now have channels because they want to be, you know, they want to still be the top dog. But it wasn't the best people getting through. It wasn't the best quality music. You know, I would demo an artist, produce an artist, get them signed, and then somebody else would recut all my tracks. And this happened to me. It happened to so many producers and engineers and mixers and whatever, people coming up, because the same like 5 or 6 guys, I was going to say guys and girls, but it was entirely men, you know, would do this stuff. And they're still around. They do courses now. They do all this kind of stuff. But I think that they were a big part of the problem. They were killing creativity. And so for me, starting Produce Like a Pro was to just kind of connect people in a much, much larger way outside of the establishment, outside of, you know, the elites, the guys that were just doing everything. So it was a big deal for me. So when somebody in Italy whose hand making is, I wish we could see, I can't lift it up because it's covered with stuff, but the pad 2 is down there. When somebody in Italy is hand making these things to order and sends me an email like that, it actually made me cry this morning, because we all know what it's like to be that guy, that girl. You know what I mean? You know what it's like to be that, to work really, really well and put your heart and soul into something and really believe in it, only to, you know, have it crushed, or have it, in the instance of so many people coming up in the industry, is to have so many people, you know, have other people take responsibility for it. I'm dealing with that at the moment with the Irish band, where I've got this guy who's trying to manipulate the whole situation and make it difficult for us, so he can sort of take responsibility for it as though he's some kind of genius. This is what happens in business, unfortunately, especially in the music business and music industry. So anyway, that's a lot of sideline, but I like to talk about business stuff when we're on it. So people are saying the Lavery's $2,250, the QES is $2,200. I mean, I love the Lavery, just so you know. I really do love the Lavery, and I think it's Dan who runs the company. I didn't want to be down on it, and I really think the Lavery is an incredible thing. By checking the QES against the Lavery, I feel like what I'm doing is I'm taking what I believe is the best sounding one on the market out there, and comparing the QES to it. So that's why I did it. So that was the reason. Hey, here's my Baxendale. Do you guys and girls follow him on Instagram? He's rebuilding the harmony. Remember the harmony that's supposed to be over here? Well, if you follow him on Instagram, he's rebuilding it at the moment, and there's a whole bunch of things. Lavery was $2,500 on Vintage Care. When Threa Parker said, when would we need one of these? Because I record into my computer via an interface and then render to wave. So what point would I use one? It's on the front end. It really is on the front end, or when you're mixing through it. Oh, and just to remind everybody, because there was a few people that asked questions on the QES video. And do me a favor. Do me a huge, huge favor, because this community is so powerful. You are all so powerful. Do me a huge favor. When you can, go to YouTube and leave a comment on it and like it, and just help this guy out. It's a big deal. It's wonderful to see, you know, somebody doing so much, so much on his own, so much hard work. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going over to it now. Yeah, please, as Academy members and community, just help spread the word. So the Lavery is one of my personal favorites. I love it. I've mixed so many records through it. But what I love about the QES is to be honest, it's got so much more input headroom. You seem to be able to hit it so much harder. And what I did is that we recalled the full mix on the console and printed through both. So it wasn't a mix going through. I think a few people thought that I took a mix that was already printed and reprinted it through. No, it was all the individual elements going through both of them. That was what was so crazy about it. So it's like, it's the poll text, it's everything on my console, going through it. So that was what was absolutely wonderful. And as ever, just the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We're using a Lewitt mic here for the voiceover, and it's normally here, but it's lower down. Yeah, Mark says he loves guys who hand passion gear with passion. Yes, I mean Tegela's the same as well. Why master at 48K? It wasn't a master, it was a mix. Because I think that's what I'm trying to say, Justin. That was the mix. I was mixing at 48K. So, hi, Sergio. So if you haven't already, please take a couple of minutes and go over to the QES video. Check it out. Please leave, a great comment and share and all the other good stuff. Because, as I was explaining, one of the main reasons for doing this, well, the actual main reason for doing this is to connect people, create community, grow community, and help companies and guys like that, people like QES out, bring them to the map, because, there's a lot of big companies and the Focusrites and stuff, which we all have their gear and everything, that don't have any problem, giving Dave Pensado $10,000 a month for a banner ad. But QES don't have that kind of budget. So look at me. It's Scott Baxendale's acoustic guitars, Yamaha acoustics. You know how I am. You can tell. I love finding the gems and bringing those forwards, as opposed to just taking the almighty buck. Sometimes, it's not sometimes. For me, it's always about rewarding great work, encouraging, empowering people. And when I got that email from Val at QES, it really meant a lot. And he said I did pronounce his name right. I don't know if he's being nice. If there's any Italians on here, was that true? Did you ever try out the smooth EQ from Oak Sound that Eric Valentine mentioned in an interview? I tried to. I tried to, Ross. So what happened is I wrote to them before I released the video. And they were like, oh, we're really busy, and then we're going on holiday in a couple of weeks. We'll get back to you in like a month or something like that. The name, David, who's rebuilding my harmony, it's Scott Baxendale. That's his name, Scott Baxendale, and it's Baxendale Guitars, and it's called the Harmony Conversion. I don't know if you can see all of that. Yeah, Baxendale Guitars Harmony Conversion. But anyway, so what was I saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I wanted to. So I contacted them. Then, of course, the Eric Valentine video came out, and then they started writing to me and go, oh, let's do some stuff together. And I was trying to get all of that going so that when the video came out, we could push to it and all this kind of stuff. So maybe I'll do some stuff in the future, but it's trying to time things so that you can help people in the best possible way. And you know how it is. It's tough. I did have a wonderful vacation last year, but this year, I didn't do it because I went to England for my father's funeral. There was a bunch of stuff that happened. We didn't do our summer vacation, which was our summer holiday, which was supposed to be in England visiting my parents. But I brought my mother over, so here we go. It's great supporting small businesses like that. They're always started by passionate and hardworking people. Okay, great. Thank you, Sergio. So that's for me anyway. We're all in this together. This community is a bunch of like-minded guys and girls here that are really trying to help each other. So it was great to go and talk to the QES guy, and to get that wonderful email was huge. But I mean, what it does concern me that, you know, that it's hard to get those videos to get a huge amount of views, because it's just an IO, a converter, a 2-track converter. So if you can, please take some time and hit the like button, share it if you can, leave a comment. It would really mean a lot. It would mean a lot to a guy, this great Italian Val, who's sitting there hand making these things to order. Great, wonderful things. Thank you, Brett. Thanks, I appreciate it. So yeah, please feel free to leave some comments there. So who we got going? We got Martin, we've got David, Monty, Clint, Frame Junkie. Sadly, the comment section of the QES Labs is disabled. The comment section is disabled? Are you sure? I'm looking at it here. Is anybody else seeing it? Jürgen says he updated his comment. And I'm going to get back in there and answer everybody's comments as well. So please feel free to leave a bunch of stuff. Hey, Hoyne Street Studio, what's up? May I say the hair is looking good, looking as good as I've ever seen. Burns too. Okay, I'm done. Peace. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Oh, Rick Springfield's manager is calling me. I'll take it later. Rick did a full orchestral album with an orchestra and a band, and they want me to mix it, but they tried somebody else that was recommended by the people that recorded it, and they don't like it, so they want me to get it going. Ron Mockridge not here in the UK, just went there and did comments. Academy took me back to YouTube. It's not disabled for me. Comment updated. Great, Toby. Thank you. I've been working at 96K since I got my Liquid Sapphire 56 Scarlett Octapre Dynamic. I thought the better sample rate was better. Comments seem okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not sure, Frame Junkie, why they're disabled for you. What country are you in? Is there something going on with the country? Sometimes that happens. Okay. Yeah, Rick is great live. We went to go and see him. I'll call his manager back later. I think he's probably just telling me that there's multi-tracks coming over for me to open up. But we've got like 4 albums to mix and a whole bunch of stuff going on this month. It's insanely busy. And then the boys are leaving next week, the Irish guys, and then they're coming back to finish the album early December. So it's nuts. How about a video wiring and interfacing all the vintage gear? That's a really good idea. What I want to do is get like Bruce from Desk Doctor over and talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that for you in Canada. They're disabled for you too in DC? Really? So there's 2 of you that it's disabled for. That's very, very strange. Tom C said he just made a comment on the video. And please like and share if you can. Let's get the word out there. So let's make this a very loose conversation. And again, please go and it's the comment section of the QES channel. That's not the PLAP. Oh, I see. Yeah, go to the PLAP video, not the QES one. I think probably what happened, I think sometimes, like, we got 12 dislikes on this video. I think what happens is you get other companies. This is the sad thing, is like, we have a lot of weight now. You, as a community, have a lot of weight. We get a lot of people pitching us all day to do stuff. And they want you to be involved. They want, the kind of power that you bring. You're all thought leaders. You're all talking to each other and helping each other, and this is something they want to be part of. But when it comes to rival companies and rival YouTube channels, they will leave dislikes and they will troll you. It's kind of unfortunate. So probably the QES guy, Val, may have disabled the comments because he may have got, like, I don't know, I'm just gonna joke. This is not serious, but it could be like a Focusrite intern or two leaving negative comments. Let's just say I've known that to be the case. Unfortunately, I've known that that's what companies do. It's unfortunate. I like the idea of us doing great content and then people come to the great content as opposed to just being negative about other stuff. There's not much you can do it. Mark, to submit for the Fact Friday, just leave comments under the Fact Friday videos. Matt scours them, and we just go through and pick a great selection. Sometimes it has a bit of a theme. We did one where it was mainly acoustics, and other times it's a bit more of a free-for-all. You can't see who dislikes your videos, but you can see sometimes when they're all in one place. Sometimes they're all come from one country. So that's pretty, Yeah, it could be also copyright issues sometimes but the copyright issues might ban it. What is there to dislike on the review? Nothing really, except if you're a rival company or you're somebody, like a Gear Sluts member who's an expert, not trying to be mean, but, one of those, I know everything and you don't know what you're talking about, and that's not the best I/O, the best converter is the blah, 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 and how dare you say it sounds good, but that's fine. UA have been talking to me about doing some stuff. We were in London and we did the Air Studios thing, which was a lot of fun. And we definitely will do some more UA stuff. Have you ever tried the Waves SSL channel? How does it compare to the real console? It doesn't sound like my console at all. It does sound good. I thought the Brainworks one was the closest to sounding like my SSL, but everybody tells me the UA one is unbelievable as well. So I think that what I really want to do is a full-blown SSL shootout. We talked about doing it with the Brainworks, so that might well be the way to do it. Keep diddling, Warren. It's like sitting in a fine dining establishment. Oh, you mean it should be like... If you're going to, you guys going down to the country store, would you grab me, hey everybody on live stream, would you grab me a coffee and a what you call it? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Clint says he always records at, are you both going down or you just going on your own?
He's going to come down right now. I'm going to help Kasha with water.
Okay. I've been at 48K for the longest time. Brett says, a bottle of wine and a table for two, please. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Helpless. Try the Prime Wib, I'll be here all week. We're doing some fine dining music and everybody's ordering their food. That's what you missed, Matty. So Monty, that's what your gig is tonight? Okay. I'll put it down for a second. Ben says, you said you record the way you want to hear it. Could you explain what what hardware you use for the voice? Now, my perfect choice would be something like a 1073 on a vocal. Currently using a 1028, which is interesting because the advantage of the 1028 is it has a huge amount of EQ points, and it also has the impedance switch, the 1200 ohm and the 300 ohm impedance switch on the front. As I said earlier, for those of you who were here a little earlier, or those of you that missed it, I should say, we are getting a system where we're going to have a 2-camera shoot with an Wi-Fi HDMI connection, and also being able to use our cell phones plus the screen. So for streaming soon, we're going to get pretty fancy on our streaming. So I'll definitely try that out in the Academy first. So that's going to be really, really good. Have I used the Shelford channel? Yes, I have. But anyway, getting back to the so usually something 1073-ish, and as I said, the 1028 I'm using on the vocal. I rarely, if ever, use any EQ. Thank you. Rarely, if ever, use any EQ on a vocal. Not going in. It seems to me we have so many tools to mix. Why would I sort of try to mix the vocal before? That's a very different thing. Now, with drums, I have a similar-ish approach. Yeah, it's the slingshot. Yeah, you're right, Brett. That's what we're looking at. So yeah, 24-bit 48K. Or if I get to hear much difference. Yeah, Clint. Yes, Clint. I agree. There's certain things that make a huge difference and certain that don't. Yeah, I think if you're ending up at 44.1, as long as you're not recording less than that, you're going to get a really, really good result. I do compress the vocals going on the way in. Now, those of you that follow me know that I designed with Michael Stucker an 1173, which is a 1073 and an 1176 together. And you know, that was like a, you know, really, really good, a really great device. You know what I mean? Do I ever close my eyes when I listen? Yes, all the time. But the reason why I did the 1173 was because I wanted the 1073 sound, but I wanted the 1176 compressor. And that to me was a huge deal. Why do you have higher sample rates then? Well, I think ultimately there is going to be a time, because, okay, so Justin, just to be clear, so most stuff is broadcast still at 48K on film and TV. Once the actual broadcast stuff goes up, once CD quality goes from 44.1 and everything goes from 48, once that goes higher, then we'll be recording higher. But it's all about where it ends up. You know, so that's the important thing to note. I think it's a good point, Clint. But I don't know what the average age of everybody is in here. But you know, I did grow up, and I don't wear this as a badge of honor, but I did grow up pretty poor, and we didn't. You know, we had an FM, radio, receiver, Sony, with the record player and everything in the front room, but everything else was like AM radios. I had like an AM radio. Didn't get to have, that was, and it was an old 60s AM radio that was a hand-me-down. And so I'd listen to music like, so for me, even the phone sounds better than that. You know what I mean? It's like, I totally get it, but I don't really believe that every single kid, when we were kids, had access to a really incredible hi-fi system with huge 70s speakers and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Most people listening to MP3, says Tom, and I had a transistor AM radio. That's really what it is. Do you have multiple hardware chains, UAB, or do you consistently use an 1176 going in for every vocal? It depends. I mean, it all comes down to situations. My typical setup is a 165 into an 1176. And that way, I think, and the 165 is just a variable attack and release 160 VU. Ken says there's not a huge amount of quality difference between 44.1 and 48K. Yeah, there's not a lot of quality difference between most of them that most people can notice. If, for instance, we go back to the QES, when we phase reverse to QES with the Lavery, the biggest difference was that extra kind of low end point, that tightness in the low end that the QES was getting, and the ambience, like the width. That's why the QES was sounding bigger. It was sounding bigger because it had more left and right, had more depth, more ambience, so it sounded wider and deeper and a little bit more low end. Those were the actual missing artifacts from the two of them. And I felt like that was the best way to test them. You can download the files yourself and try that and see what, you know. Oh, Clint says Dad had an old Telefunken stereo Dad bought home from Germany. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I use an AMEC and love it, says David. Most people listen to MP3s. I'm thinking about getting a console. Do you have any experience with the TAC Bullet? I don't, but I had a TAC Scorpion for years, and I made a lot of records on it and loved it. Yeah, the AMEC Bullet. Yeah, maybe that's a broadcast console. Where's the best place to make a noticeable improvement in sound? I have a Focusrite Octopre. It's an 18i20. Not sure if I should replace that or start buying 500 series gear to put in front of it. Yeah, I have a TAC Scorpion. I had a TAC Scorpion as well, Justin. What mics do you have? 3 for Parker. What mics do you have first? I think that's the thing that we want to know first. Like microphones, high quality cables going into nice IO or nice mic pre's. In that order. What is the mics that you have? Wow, 2 of you had Telefunken stereo. Wish I'd had one. I can't imagine that being anything other than amazing. Oh, by the way, I did put up a new video 39 minutes ago. It is it's the Evolution and the Sonic's Evolution and Reverb. It's a giveaway and a review. So when you can, please check that out as well. That would be absolutely amazing. I think the Evolution. There's some great comments here. You're going to win the 640 TS. Well, if you're in the Academy, Tom, which you are, I think the price inside of the Academy is like 65% off retail. I think even with a discount, it's still like 40% less than a discounted price from most retailers. So, where are you based, Tom? Art M1 mics. So, Lewitt SE8 Bayer DC71 on drums. That's not bad. What Lewitts do you have? But that looks pretty darn good. 3 for Parker. I think that's a tough one. What is your DAW? What is your plugins? Let's sort of get to know what we're all using here. When is the draw for the Focals? I think that just happened. The Focal speakers, I think that just happened. And I believe somebody in New York won it, which was unusual. We don't get many American winners. What's funny is we get trolled, obviously, you know, everybody gets trolled, but we get trolled by people from different countries. We're all in different countries. All of us here saying, you never get to win in India or whatever. And we're like, yeah, we've sent them to Malaysia. Trust me, often the deal is with the manufacturers is they will give us something, but we have to pay for the shipping. We try never to do that, but I've been stuck with it a few times. And we've had Brazil and Greece. And when you ship to Brazil and Greece, not only do you pay a fortune getting it over there, you pay all the duty. And luckily, God bless them, and another reason why I love them, Audient paid. They had one go to Brazil and Greece, and Lewitt had some stuff going to Brazil as well. It was insane how much more expensive it was. MTP 440 on the snare, DAW is Reaper. I mean, yeah, I do think you could. It's interesting though, because I think for me, with your setup, the only other way I would go would be to use dedicated IOs, like much more expensive IO converters, and then get the mic pre's. I think if you're running it, like Matt McGlynn was saying, at no more than 70% of your gain on it, and you're not crushing the IO at all, you're probably going to get as good a results as anybody else can. Most of the time, nobody is going to hear any kind of difference between, my Avid, Apogee, Lavery, QES stuff and my Audient. Like all the David stuff, all the Workday release stuff is done with an Audient. That's all done with Audient. So, and, using really inexpensive microphones. It's a $249 Lewitt vocal mic. So if you look at it from that perspective, 140 LCT 140s as overhead microphones. There's a 57 on it. There's the 640 Rex on it. I mean, the reality is like we're using cheap mics or inexpensive mics, an inexpensive IO, and we're getting amazing results. I can't do a giveaway for the QES system. I would love to, but my guess is this guy's making half a dozen a month, maybe. I mean, what do you believe? I mean, if he's selling for a couple of $1,000 or euros, the components alone is it's really substantial. I don't know, but I would guess maybe half of that price, because he can't buy a huge bulk of it because he's not Focusrite. He's not building them in China and buying them at like 100,000 components at a time. He's going to be buying very few amounts of components. So for him, he's going to be sitting there making small orders, ordering small amounts of product, building them, hand building them. And so for him to give away something is probably going to eat his whole profits for the month. Yeah, you're welcome, 3 for Parker. I think that's the way to go. Ivan says, sorry, I got bumped off earlier. One more question about vocal chains. When hitting the compressors, of course, you want to tame the louder parts of the vocal, but how much reduction becomes too much? This is interesting because it depends how audible it is. When I use a 160 VU or a 165, I find that I don't want to hear that too much. It's on most of the time, but it's tapping it. But then I find with the 1176, I'll put it on 20 to 1 after the 160 and use it to catch the big peaks. I am working out a deal to keep the QES because I loved it that much. Yep. I think, Mark, that might be his only product. Yeah. Oh, great. As everybody, hey, so is the I don't know if Matt's there. Is the Sonarworks discount up yet? I'll ask Matt. Is it up yet for all of the Academy members? Because I think it's pretty huge. Is the Sonarworks? Yeah, David says he isn't really making any money building QES products. Money he gets put back into the business. Exactly. So I think the best way for us to help him is to let people know what a great product, buy them, if you so choose. There's no arm twisting, and just be supportive. Is the Sonar Works? I know that we did a really great deal on the Sonarworks discount available in the Academy. Oh, he said yes. Oh, okay, good. Can we get a crazy studio story? Maybe something that happened or something you're recording a way that actually worked? Oh, okay, great. So if you haven't yet, get the Sonarworks. It's on all the time. It's actually running at the moment. We just use it all the time. Yeah, 40% off. How do UK plappers get the Lewitt mic deals? Justin, I think we can work that out. So basically, anybody that's outside of America and wants to do this, just write to us and we'll figure it out. That would be amazing. We're talking to Toman at the moment. So that could be really interesting for Europeans. We're coming out to, and those of you that are interested, we are going to go to super booths. We do have Hansa Studios locked in for 3 days for a masterclass. So letting you know about that. I'm going to do a couple of mix master classes here at the studio. There's no time limit on the Jürgen on the SonarWorks discount. I love this guitar. Ron H, how are you? Thomann ships to the US to saved about $100 on an SE matched pair. Yeah, we're going to start doing some stuff with Thomann. I've been a massive supporter of Vintage King for a long, long time. I recently tried to buy something from them, and the deal was like not as good as I could have got for Sweetwater, which I think was, which was a little unfortunate. So as ever, I think what I'm continually trying to do is find. Here's my sort of manifesto, if you like. If I, with these sort of gold and platinum records things on the wall, if I, with this, studio and having been in the business for a long time and have lots of friends and acquaintances, and now that I have a, relatively successful YouTube channel and we have this incredible academy, I think to myself, if I can't get treated well by a company, then I'm not going to recommend them to you, because goodness, how badly they're going to treat. I mean, we had horrible, horrible interaction with Ultrasound. It took us about 2 months to get the headphones repaired. And when they came back repaired, one pair of headphones was wired out of phase. So there was no center. And I had Eric write to them, and they just said, no, you're doing something wrong. And he wrote back and said, no, I'm pretty sure I've got 2 pairs. I plug them both into the same place with the same thing. And the guy at Ultrasound, in the distributor in America, said, no, you must be doing something wrong. We definitely fixed them and tested them. I mean, there's no way they fixed them and tested them. They fixed them, but they didn't test them. You can't accidentally rewire while it's being flown over in a box, 2 pairs of headphones. One of them doesn't magically rewire itself. So I really like Ultrasound products, but I have 2 pairs and 1 pair is wired out of phase. And they told me they wanted us to pay for it to be sent back, to be rewired. And if they found out it was their fault, they would pay for it to be shipped back. So basically I'd have to go a couple of $100 out of pocket. Now, this was all done under the name Eric Gonzalez. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Everything came under the name Eric Gonzalez. It got to the point where I just stepped in and I wrote to a couple of people I knew. I wrote to the owner, got ignored. Then I wrote to the main company in Germany and said, I'm having terrible time. And they made loads of excuses. They wrote back and said, oh yeah, they're expanding. It's like, it's been 3 months. But then I got an email back from the same repair guy going, not apologizing, not saying that he was completely out of line and he treated Eric really badly. It just seemed like, God, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that guy, but it seemed like it was just treating people really, really badly. And just because they didn't know who he was, and maybe they did a search and they couldn't find, it's worse than bad customer service, Ben. It's just, it is what would destroy anybody else's business. Oh, you did have a hard time with Black Lion. I think the difference for Fred and Elvis between something like Black Lion and this, I think it was, I can't remember the distributor. This is a huge distributor. I think the difference is that Black Lion, again, is maybe 1 or 2 guys, like hand building stuff, answering all their emails, answering the phones, doing everything. It's a very, very, yeah. Well, we're also, Michael and I are also talking about doing budget versions, by the way, of all of the 1073s and 1176s and 1173s. We're talking about doing that. how they're expanding. Oh, well, this wasn't Ultrasound itself. It was their distributor. And anyway, it just came at a time where I go over to Cameron Webb's and he has a pair of blue headphones. And Cameron says to me, try out these headphones. And I was like, I love these. And they sounded absolutely fantastic. So I just switched, you know, stream is breaking up. Is it breaking up for anybody else? It says good here. And I'm watching it play back and it's still good for me. Is anybody else having issues? I'm just going to have a look myself. I'm going to watch myself. How embarrassing. It seems to be good here. Okay, great. I just want to make sure it's good. It's good for everybody. So unfortunately, it's probably just one person's stream there. Leaves on the line. Yes, Justin. Reginald Perring. Great in Germany. Fantastic, Mark. We have this Tagalog video that we've got to do. It's going to be insanely good. Fine in Italy. Wonderful. Anyway, so that's just kind of, there you go. That was my long diatribe. But essentially what it is like if I really believe if they're not going to give me good customer service, then I'm not going to recommend them for you guys. It's just not, it doesn't make any sense. And Lee over at SonarWorks, he just wouldn't go away. He just kept sending us stuff for free to try out. He gave us so much respect. And, you know, then I saw them spend like a fortune with Pensado, you know, and I was just like, hey, you know, you guys, that's not what we do. We don't do like the big banner ads. We don't ask for $10,000 to like, we're not musical prostitutes. Did I just say that out loud? I said, we really believe in like, you know, getting to know the companies we're working with because we want to know that they're going to back up the products and support our community. We're not just in it for a quick check. I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best power cable ever. I always love that one. The power cable, you plug it into your computer and everything sounds better. You remember that one? I mean, that's $10,000, but I just, you know, I'd like $10,000 for half an hour's work. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think it's fair to you to sort of like use any kind of weight that I've got to use and abuse you. So it is what it is. Lee was very nice in communications with him. Yeah, I agree, Jack. Lee has been really instrumental. Companies, there's a lot of good products. It's all about like the after service and how they look after us, how they look after you, most importantly. Like if any of you ever had an issue, you would just tell our community, and before you know it, one of us, maybe even me, would be writing to somebody and going, hey, there's a problem. I've dealt with various support companies for years, and it's been getting worse over the last 15 years. Yeah, I'm wondering if we can, as community members, can have like active like logos and stuff like that. I think we need to sort of like be okay with identifying ourselves as Produce Like a Pro Academy members, because there is a power cable they can charge 10 grand for. Yeah, there was this power cable that is made by this company that Dave Pensado did an advert for, and I know he got paid a fortune to do it. And they said that if you plug it into your computer, your music will sound better. I think, you know, my story has been one from building it from scratch, like most of us here, you know, and because we built our businesses from scratch, we don't really have the capital to trade on that we can sort of like talk about $10,000 power cables, or, you know, I think if we put loads of banner ads in all of our videos and charged like $10,000 a month for them, I don't think it would last too long, because that's not why we came together. We didn't come together because, you know, famous people. We came together because everybody here, you know, just realizes that we're all the same. We're all just guys and girls trying to make great money. Magic power cables, yeah. clap logo. Oh wow! Jacques said he won the Sonarworks reference. I can't remember the name of the power cable. I wouldn't want to recommend it. They actually met them at Vintage King, and they gave me their card and said, "Did you want to do some stuff?" Yeah, that's interesting. He said Dave Lee says they don't need those power cables in nanotech labs. Yeah. There's a lot of snake oil. There's a lot of snake oil. Great. John says that Sonarworks have been very proactive in their customer service. Thank you guys and girls for letting me warm up and play scales and stuff while I'm talking to you. I know sometimes it annoys. Yeah, I think that's, you know, we've been talking and I've not name dropped it, what's the word? Mentioned it a few times about maybe, you know, I think everybody here should have your own YouTube channels and help each other out, you know what I mean? So, if you want to do something and say like produce like a Pro Academy members and all that kind of stuff, I'm down. I think it's a really, really good idea for our community to do that. You've been sweet picking, whether. Got that painful face. Yeah, I need to practice. Terry says having your own channel sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend doing maybe doing yeah, I just think more like if you want to put up a video talking about how you record and stuff, just sharing it with each other and helping each other out. That's what I was sort of thinking. Monty says, I like Dave and Herb. They're cool, but they're going for a different vibe. Since their videos have not been as good of late, they have difficult models to sustain over the long haul. Well, it's difficult because it's always been about paid content for them. You know, so what they do is they try to cram everything into one episode. So they'll do an interview with somebody for about 20 minutes, and then they'll do paid content on a plugin they're talking about. And then they have all the banner ads, you know, that they put in the front, which are people all paying like 10 grand a month. I mean, Dave told me flat out that they run a really expensive thing, and that's how they make money. It's how they make a living. You know, I don't believe Dave's really mixing much this anymore. I'm sure he's mixing one thing every now and then, but those days of the sort of $7,500 mixes, 2 mixes a day have long gone. So that's what I was sort of talking about earlier. I think sustaining that kind of career, it's the reason why Crystal Algae's got so into doing like all these tutorials and getting involved in speakers and stuff like that. You know, they're just trying to, Lemmica's been trying to do sweet picking. So I think, you know, trying to, I just come from a different place. I come from the same place as all of us. I'm just a guy making music who wanted to like kind of build this community together. Are you doing the show us your studio thing? Oh, I will do at some stage. Once we get the extra cameras and the all the streaming stuff up, we'll be able to do all kinds of fun things in here. We'll be able to talk about drum recording inside of the Academy. We'll be able to talk about like what compression, what EQ I use, all kinds of good stuff. It's going to be absolutely insane. Spanish feel. I think Dave's an honest man. David Lees. I don't know how really to approach that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be contentious about it. I just think I really strongly believe that we do what we love and we make money as a consequence. I think if we're just chasing the money, we're always going to have interesting. Okay, how do you decide how much saturation to get on the way in? I think for me, it's just what naturally comes with using the mic preset I like the sound on. Thanks very much. Yeah. Monty Craig says, Plap is a great format that should grow long term, about creating a large pool of great mixers and artists. It's about the community versus selling ads, definitely. I mean, we make money in different ways, you know, and yeah, like Terry's saying, you can't remove it later. I just use nice sounding mic pre's. It's not to say that you can't use your Audient or whatever you have with a plug-in on the way in. Oh, wow. Victor Andres has been helping with a bit with my sound. Well, that's nice, 3 for Parker. I saw Victor the other day at Sunset Sound when I was tracking. He was in there recording with Joe Ciccarelli. Yeah, money is the byproduct. I agree. Printing stems and alternate versions is never ending. It's very true. I've got to do some of that today. Money! I've overcooked the overheads as well sometimes. That's where, in a perfect situation, I would use like a Manley Verimue on it. You know, I love the way that they just add some light compression and control the high end in a beautiful way. Everyone has a stick to get attention. What's mine? What's mine? Is it my bad hair? It's probably my bad hair. I think you may have busted me on my bad hair. Lots of other people have. So once again, if you can go to the QES and leave a great comment and hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it, that video. And we do have a new one up on the Oxford stuff. Hey, so do you want to ask some questions about mixing and stuff like that? Because I do have yesterday's session up. So I have Hurricane. And I'm looping the first few seconds. Okay, that's interesting. Seeing how much latency that adds. Hi, Sheila. No, it wasn't a live stream, but today I have this video up. So I don't know if any of you have watched it. Please watch it afterwards. But we've got the Evolution and the Evolution and Sonox Reverb, and this is the song that I used. Hey, so 3 for Parker. Those of you, hey, does everybody follow me on Instagram? It's pretty easy. It's just Warren Huart. If you haven't, please go and do that now. And the reason why I say, the reason why I'm saying is because I put this photograph up yesterday. So that's my old studio. Okay, Sheila, yeah, it's going to be up permanently, so you can come back and watch it. So if you haven't already, go to Instagram and go and like it and all that kind of good stuff. But check out. So this is my old studio. So three for Parker's talking about it now. That's me miking Victor's kit. So just so you know, this is what I did on his kit. I've got a C12, but it's a Wonder C12 as a mono overhead. I've got a pair of 414s, and then I have a kick resonator with I think it's a U87 on it. See if you can see that. It's hard to show probably on here. Can you see that okay? There's a kick in front, and it's a resonator kick. But yeah, so go and check it out. And you'll see that, and please feel free to comment and all that kind of good stuff. But it's just Warren Huart. It's not anything special. And that's my, yeah, feel free to comment, especially if you're an Academy member. It's always great to see Academy members. I think the RX was adding the latency. Take your time, Derek. We're in the Academy here. Take your time. You don't have to worry how long it takes you to do this. I don't mind if you do this quickly or slowly. It's really just about helping each other out and learning from the experience, Yes, Justin, it's the one with the drum baffles. It's not official, Warren Huart. Toby likes joking about that because he knows that I don't subscribe to the idea of putting official after or before your name, because it alienates people and makes people believe that you're better than them, which is the opposite. Here comes my wife. Oh, and she's got something very exciting in her hands. I know, I can see what it is from here. I know that photo really, really well. Look what it is. Wow, wait, let's get a proper view. Look at that. Wow.
You keep your man happy, you buy him queen.
Wow, I saw the back. Look at this. So what is this? The music, the life, the Rhapsody. It's a Life magazine of Queen. Wow. No, can you see this one? You see that? All my hairs are standing on it. Whoa. And my mum's here. Wow. So badass. Look at that. Wow. Woohoo! So, your Academy members, let's just say, look at that. There's Freddie's mum. Wow. Woohoo! All right. It's Christmas. It's Halloween. It's like, but anyway, getting back. Yeah, I did see them in Vegas. My wife is called Sheila. I'm very lucky. So what was I gonna? Did I tell you my Vegas story? So, oh, it's okay, Diego. I'll waffle on for a bit more. Don't worry. So we go to see Vegas. We go to see Queen and Adam Lambert in Vegas, and a couple of things. So we go there, and I got pretty good seats. I got seats like on the first row, like not the balcony because it wasn't that high up, but so you had a really good view of the stage. I agree, Clint. And the lights go down, the band starts coming up, and this usher, this woman, comes walking straight towards us and says, "Excuse me, would you mind giving up your seats for a lady that would like to stretch out her legs?" And we were like, okay, no problem. Bearing in mind we're on the front row with an area where you can stretch out your seats, or that feet. But I was thinking at the same time, why just us? I mean, there was 100 people on this whole row. Why did you pick up us? Walk straight towards us. And we were like, okay, not a problem at all. Where would you like us to sit? And she said, oh, we can upgrade you. And I said, where? And she pointed down. She pointed down to the front. And at the front, she meant at the front. So they sat us. I'm going to look for photos here. They sat us right at the very front. For instance, and I started to write a blog about this. It was just really difficult, and I'm such a fan that I don't ever want to appear to be sycophantic. But I think most of us are just huge fans of music, all kinds of music. Let me find it for you. Gotta go through this a little quicker. Sorry to go dead on you for a second. I'm just trying to find the pictures. It was so recent. I just want you to see the view I had. Sorry about this. Dead air, dead air, dead air. Okay. This is a photo taken from my phone, not zoomed in from where we were sitting. How cool is that? Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I was very, very blessed. Oh, he does actually have feet. You can see in this photo. Wasn't cut off. So, pretty wonderful. I was really, really blessed. Yeah, exactly, Dave. We're just all sitting. Yeah, thanks, Clint. It was pretty amazing. So afterwards, I just thought to myself, how did that happen? How did that happen? I have no idea. And I get quite emotional. So the next morning we woke up and I just said to Kasha, I was like, I have no idea how that happened. And she said that was your dad. Because those of you that know me know my and I've talked about it only in the academy. My dad died earlier this year, a few months ago, about 5 months ago now. And he was the reason why I got into Queen. And yeah, I have watched that video, Mark. That was sent to me from an Academy member, and I'm blanking on who. It might have been Arthur. It may have been Andrew. I can't remember. I'm really sorry. Yeah, Mark's saying he's a Springsteen fan. He felt like a little boy on Christmas Eve every time he sees him live. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, got very tiny. Which one do I have? I actually have the cheapest one. But it's phenomenal, and it was a gift, from somebody that doesn't want us to know that he gave it to me as a gift, because he just said he doesn't want any special attention, but he is a very generous person. Thank you, Tom. Yes, he did, Ben. So anyway, it's just sitting over there. It's not sitting, it's hanging up over there, and it is beautiful. And very affordable. Thank you, Three for Parker. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, this is beautiful. Another reason why we have this academy, because now we can actually talk to each other like real human beings, as opposed to, a Gear Slut situation. Again, no disrespect to the guys that started Gear Sluts, but geez, the infighting and the negativity that goes on in there. Wow, it's insane. It's just not what we want. We want to... Oh, Sheila, you lost both of yours. I'm sorry. My mother's here staying with us at the moment. She came over to stay. So, yeah, I didn't see this Queen Extravaganza. I'd love to go and see it. Yeah, I mean, £649 is pretty darn cheap for a guitar that good. I'll grab it for you. I'm going on a Queen thing. I'm sorry. Here it is. It's still got the sticky on it. The Thank you, Jürgen. Great. Well, happy birthday to your mum, Monty. When we get to meet the mum, she's very, very shy. Very, very. I know, Matt, Mark. All the experts. Lovely. 81. My mum's still relatively young. My dad was older than her. My mum's 73. My dad wasn't as old, though, as you'd think. I mean, he was 78 when he died. My mum just turned 73. So he was 5-6 years older than her. Oh, the phase switching on the pickups is amazing. Yes, that's completely stock. And I love it. Ken, thank you for all those lovely, for these live sessions. Thank you for what you do for me in the Academy. You're very welcome, Ken. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for saying such positive stuff and being so helpful to each other. So let's do a couple more minutes. What do you want? Worst part of living is losing loved ones. I agree. I knew what you meant, Ken. It's okay. Bye, Ken. So anything else that you guys and girls, sorry, want to cover? I hate saying guys is this American euphemism that I've started adopting without realizing it, just meaning everybody. But then the English part of me kicks in and realizing that guys is not everybody. It's just men. It's just a ridiculous thing. I've just got to stop saying guys and just saying hope you all, and just start using all and they and them, and stop worrying about that stuff and just go back to being English again. That's great, Jax. Yep. Yeah, it's a tough part of life, isn't it? The guitar is still dancing. Yes, that guitar is so beautiful, Ron. It is so beautiful. So in the next few minutes, is there anything? Call your mum. Call your mum. Ladies and gents. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Today in Produce Like a Pro Academy, we're going to be talking. I know guys actually is everybody. I know that. It's, if you're from Texas, I was about to say, Tom did it, just beat me to it. Y'all. Very inspired by Jerry Hammock live stream. Can you do an old school live mix session one day? Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I've got Hurricane up here. Does anybody have any questions about Hurricane while we're doing it? Companies that make decent leads and cables. Yes, we're talking to somebody at the moment trying to work out something that will work for everybody in the Academy. It's a very high-end cable, very, very high-end cable. So we just have to get that together. I did really, really like the German company Klotz, but they're very difficult to deal with because they're not, I don't know, we couldn't really get communication going really well with them, but I did get some good stuff from them. And I know a few of you bought their cables. But there is an American company, and we're sort of testing the waters to see if they're a company that we can get behind and recommend. But so far, so good. So far, we've done a few phone calls with them, a couple of emails. You know, you can probably tell my process is like feel these people out before you recommend them and make sure that they really care about you and they're going to support and do great stuff. Hey, Lawrence from Rhode Island. But I have Hurricane up here. I said it in American. Hurricane. If there's anything you want to ask about this, I did obviously as an Academy members, you got full access to this. You got full access to this. And I'm just looking here. So, has anybody got any questions about the songs? Why was all the drums combined? Because there wasn't live drums. These is completely manipulated. It's all built using different elements. So this beat. You're very welcome, 3 for Parker. And that's just using, let me check what plugin it was, just for those of you that are Pro Tools people. Instrument, it was, what's the one that comes free with Pro Tools with Avid? I can't remember. Comes free. It's the most basic Avid free plugin. And I'm completely blanking on what it's called. Maybe it doesn't come free anymore. Wouldn't that be crazy? I can't remember. Expand. Yeah, there it is. So that's just Expand. That's what we used. Yep, that's all it is. Expand. So you can do that with Expand. And then the drum print was Addictive. What's going on, Frame Junkie? Sorry. Let me have a look. Yeah, it was definitely a Phil Spector type kind of groove. Boom, 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 boom. It's on about 50 different songs, that groove. Clots are a good company. Frame Junkie, I can't see your pro. Still free, can't pull the name up either. Yeah, it's Expand. I love Expand. I think the free stuff that comes in these are really, really good. I'm reading. Have to leave, Ken. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to catch up. I was fortunate enough to get a debate with 32 versus 60 summing up on Reddit. The techno babble is never ending. I have to do research just to keep up. I really wouldn't. Proximity effect. I mean, here's some proximity effect. Here's some proximity effect. You haven't started mixing any Hurricane yet. You'll have fun with it. We need new expensive power cables. Yeah, $10,000 power cables. Post a question for Fact Friday. Shat, you can just do that under each of the Fact Fridays. Thanks, 3 for Parker. The drums are all combined. Well, this one was combined because it's just addictive drums. Here. So that's just a stereo mix of addictive drums. Did I make the top 40? Yes. Ace actually wasn't as high as I thought it would be. Ace was 49. But Disturbed was number 4 this week. So I've got a number 4 album and a number 49 album this week on the Billboard Hot 100. So 2 albums in the Hot 100's nice. One at number 4 and one at number 49. I was thinking they'd both be top 40. Thanks, Agnar. What came first? I think actually it was a beat and a piano line, and then a vocal. Yeah, well, Clint, I would never build this studio again. I mean, this was built up at a time when this gear was all you could do. I mean, it just took a long time to build this. Yeah, you can mix. Thanks, Justin. Thanks. Yeah, number 4. Number 49 is still good. And I think he was in like top 10 of a few countries all over the world. So I'm happy. Yeah, good connectors is important as well. Yeah, number 4 and number 49. I'm happy. Okay, so any other questions about Hurricane? Thanks, John. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, I'm happy with number 49. If it was a new band, I'd be really happy. Nice. Nice, Tim. Thanks, Jürgen. The piano is Yamaha C7 and probably Expand. I think Expand. This is probably Expand. And this is the C7. You can tell it's C7 because there's mistakes in it. That's the telling point. There's no MIDI information to edit. Oh, Ozzy's stuff, yeah. I don't know. Just leave messages. Ozzy does great work. There's so many great people in the Academy. It's insane. Thanks, Justin. Well, one's Expand and the other one is a real C7 from Harmony. And we'll also be doing a lot more live streaming from Harmony because we're taking it over. Yeah, well, I think, Clint, what's interesting to notice is on this mix here, for instance, remember, this is me talking up here, so get rid of that. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plugins total. There's 15 plugins on the whole mix. There's 15 plugins on the whole mix. So, U87's on the piano, yeah. Who do you think makes the best piano sounds? That's a tough one. I go between it. It really depends. It's nice to have a lot of options and then just sort of choose it from there. You know? Definitely, less than perfect. I mean, we're also moving quickly. Like, you know, a lot of the time on the productions we're doing, we're writing and recording the song at the same time. Oh yeah, so full time we're going to have Harmony, so you'll probably see a lot more video content coming from there as well. What do I think of $11 a month? I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love Mac DSP stuff. Oh yeah, we had some great stuff. Well, we did all of those Bon Jovi songs. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to shoot off in a second. Thanks to my wife for this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Very, very exciting. Okay, very exciting. I hope you're all doing marvelously well. Thanks for hanging out and doing this with me. Please do me a favor and, you know, reward our community. Go and leave comments on our latest 2 videos now. We have the the QES, but we also have the Sonox as well. And like I was saying, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please do that. That would be absolutely amazing. You've been absolutely amazing as ever. You could have more Bon Jovi songs to mix. We'll put more of those up. Stephen Wilson, that'd be a lot of fun. So thanks everybody that joined us. I hope you're having a marvelous day. See you all again next week. We have a new song coming up next week, and speak to you all again very, very soon. Okay. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.